Now for our featured story of the day. Crypto can soar. And when I speak about crypto, I'm talking about the king. Bitcoin can soar 23,000% over the next 2 decades, according to MicroStrategy's Mikey Saylor. That's right. He was recently doing the rounds and doubled down on his bullish price prediction. So let's start right here, quoting Michael Saylor from this recent interview. Bitcoin's 0.01% of the capital in the world right now. I think it's going to go to 7% of the capital. My long-term forecast is it is going to 13 million per coin over 21 years. And right now, MicroStrategy is hodling 252,200 Bitcoin. That does not include Mikey Saylor's personal stash. And as Max Kaiser shared and El Brandino Martinez, Bitcoin's Employee of the Month, Mikey Saylor, you're doing a hell of a job. Now go get your shine box, brother. And other headlines, as you can see here, Bitcoin can soar 23,000% over the next 2 decades, according to Michael Saylor. So let's break this one down. Bitcoin will skyrocket over the long run. Amongst them, predicting this is Mikey Saylor, founder and executive chair of MicroStrategy. He recently doubled down on his prediction that a single Bitcoin would be worth $13 million by the year 2045. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that prediction. And at last, the report, MicroStrategy showed owning 226,500 Bitcoin, but they just purchased more. So hence why I shared earlier, the new number is 252,200 Bitcoin. And also he's in the process of purchasing 1.1 billion more in Bitcoin. So that number is only going to go up from here, family. So Bloomberg reported last month, Saylor himself also owns 1 billion worth of Bitcoin. You can add to that tally. Can someone run the math? How many Bitcoin is approximately 1 billion worth at today's price? Let me know in that chat. So based on the price of 55,000, clearly we're currently at 63,000, but just for a ballpark target from the time of the prediction, that means a 13 million target represents an astronomical 23,000% return. If you buy today and hodl for the next 2 decades, not too shabby of an upside, right? Now, obviously a lot has to happen for that to become reality, but let's take a deeper look. Yes, seeing the 13 million price tag for Bitcoin can induce a fair amount of sticker shock. You can say that again. But if you dig into the numbers, the math actually starts to make sense. Preach. And a lot of that has to do with the compounding power of money. If any asset is allowed to compound in value for a long period of time, the results have the potential to shock. That's right. Exponential gains, homie. In the case of the Biddy, it would require a compound annual growth rate of 30% for the magic to happen. And to jump from 55,000 to where a ballpark it is today to 13 million in 2045. In other words, a Bitcoin can increase in value by a modest 30% per year. For the next 21 years, an upfront investment of 55,000 would turn into 13 million. Let that sink in. And that's just with a 30% annualized gain, which is like nothing. Bitcoin's been outperforming that easy peasy for the past 15 years. Since the Genesis block, January 3rd of 2009. And while it may be unlikely, a CAGR of 30% for Bitcoin is not out of the question. For example, from 2011 to 2021, Bitcoin delivered annualized returns of 230% per year, and Bitcoin returned approximately 150% just last year in 2023. And already this year, Bitcoin's up more than 30%. So over the past 5 years, the only blemish was in 2022, when Bitcoin fell nearly 65%. And you can thank Scam Bankman-Fried for that one. So what can investors realistically expect? Let's discuss it. In an interview this month with CNBC, Saylor predicted that during the next 2 decades, Bitcoin's annual return would steadily fall over time from about 44% a year to 40% to 35% to 30% to 25% to, well, you get the idea. The final long-run number for Bitcoin, says Saylor, would be the annual return of the S&P 500 plus an extra 8% to compensate investors for the extra risk. And at some point, of course, it's worth taking a moment to ponder what a price tag of 13 million really means for Bitcoin. Based on its current circulating coin supply of 20 million, that implies a future market cap of 260 trillion. That dwarfs the value of any tech stock today, and in fact, it dwarfs the value of the entire S&P, which today sits at around 45 trillion. And guess who owns over 90% of the companies in the S&P 500? You guessed right. BlackRock. rock. And now they're coming for your biddies, family, so stack accordingly. And even if we were to assume that the U.S. stocks will grow at a rate of 10% per year over the next 20 years, a price tag of $13 million still implies that Bitcoin would represent an astonishing amount of the world's wealth in the year 2045. For that reason alone, it's worth having a healthy dose of skepticism about the Bitcoin future price. But there you go, yo. Let me know if you agree, disagree with Mikey Saylor. Can you see a $13 million biddy in the next 21 years? Holla at your boy, and welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. I'm going to do my best to read everyone's comments out loud, and if you want your comments to flow on the screen, you got to visit the YouTube channel, the direct link, cryptonewsalerts.net. So if you don't know now, you know. And shout out everyone on the stream. I see we got 1,200 people already here. Graduated high school in 87, Dusty Hunt. When all the other fiat fails, Bitcoin will be waiting to catch you. Diana says JV is 83. 8 plus 3 equals 11. He told us. Exactly. I was born in 83, the same year as Return of the Dragon. I mean, Return of the Jedi, my bad. Return of the Dragon was probably a decade prior to that. My apologies. But nonetheless, yeah, I was born in 83, and of course, that's an 11. I was born on the 11th. My daughter has the same birthday as me on the 11th, so 11/11 is a very divine omen to your boy right here. Phone stand channel, 55,000 equals 100. Man, is that 13 milli? 2045, here I come, Senate. You are as rare as Bitcoin, baby. Compliment a woman like that and watch the doors opening, says Algis. Word up, brother. Shout out Emily. Me too, JV. Wow, 83 is in the building. Yes, I see a 13 milli. No doubt, says Serge. Hope you're right, brother. Send that mofo where no man has gone before, to the moon. Craig Davison says, Bitcoin to the moon. Just reposted your brother, and I am following you. I just followed you back. And that goes for anyone else for the rest of the stream. I'm going to be streaming at least for the next hour. Anyone who reposts or shares with a comment will get reposted, shout it back out, and I'll follow you back as well, so it's a no-brainer. October 12th, 1981. Nice, Jay. I will not make Rumble. I am going to sleep. I feel like ish. No worries, short coin. Do what you got to do. Health always first. And 10 years older than JV. JBeezy. My elders. Respect to the elders.